Hi, I'm Greg Dell with Dell Disability Lawyers, here with attorney Cesar Gavidia. And Cesar, today we're going to talk about one of your recently resolved cases against Prudential Insurance Company. And we love to talk about these resolved cases because it gives people an understanding as to what to expect against their particular disability insurance company, this one being Prudential. Also provides them some tips if they're in a situation that could either help them with their appeal or help them to avoid a claim denial. So let's get right into your case and talk a little bit first about the background of the case, the diagnosis, the reason for denial, and then we'll get into what you were able to do to have success on this Prudential claim.
Sure. So our client was a flight attendant for United Airlines, and through United Airlines he had a employee benefit disability policy with Prudential. That's who insured the United Airlines employees. Being a flight attendant, he'd done that job for many, many years. He loved it. He was able to travel. I mean, it was really a passion of his to work as a flight attendant. And in 2019, he started having problems with fatigue, significant tiredness. Started having issues where he was just experiencing weakness. And he felt it was really impeding and causing problems in his ability to function at work, on these flights. And he was, flying everywhere, all over the country and in some cases internationally.
Right. Plus long hours standing on your feet.
Standing on your feet and having to basically be able to, jump into action at a moment's notice if a passenger is having some sort of emergency episode or there's some sort of problem on the airplane. I mean, they have to be ready and fit for action at any moment. He was diagnosed with severe obstructive sleep apnea, which was leading to a lot of these problems and symptoms with the tiredness and the weakness and this chronic fatigue. His doctors had advised him to stop working so that they could get the problem under control. Which they did. He started even having some mental health issues as a result of all of this. So depression, anxiety, kind of these comorbid problems that were linked to this lack of sleep and problems he was experiencing with his sleep apnea. They performed a procedure, an uvuloplasty, where they basically found that much of his sleep apnea problems were from this enlarged uvula, and they corrected that. He returned to work. He worked for, I think, most of 2019 after that, and then had to go back out with similar problems. And they again went and performed another procedure to try to resolve the problem, went back to work for a few more months, and had to go back out. So at this point, we're in early 2020. We get hit with COVID, and aside from the sleep apnea, he also has severe type 2 diabetes. So his doctors advised him to stop working due to the high risk associated with COVID and his pre-existing problems. And it was then that, as a result of that taking a leave from the high risk resulting from his diabetes and hypertension, that Prudential denied it and said, look, you can seek disability due to a worsening worsening problem or condition you have if having you perform the occupation is going to worsen that condition, but we don't approve disability on account of potentially some other problem or underlying problem could arise, and they denied it on that basis. And he actually appealed it. Prudential offers two appeals. The first appeal is a mandatory appeal, and he pursued that on his own. And he really just informed them that he wished to appeal. Probably, I think it was, he informed them within like a month or two after he received his denial letter, and Prudential just denied it again. Had just another physician review the records, and they just denied it.
So he didn't submit anything with his appeal?
I think Prudential had gone out and obtained some updated records, but nothing that he actively did on his own, aside from inform them that he was appealing.
So he was lucky in this particular that it was a Prudential policy that offers a second appeal, because with many other companies there could have only been one appeal and he wouldn't have had any other opportunities.
Exactly.
So what did you do once you got involved and decided to do a second appeal?
So the second appeal being a voluntary one, you don't have the benefit of necessarily a review by a new set of eyes, as you would with that initial review. You know, they didn't have to. Prudential didn't go out to a new claims person or appeal specialist or a new doctor to have the claim reviewed. So at least, you know, we understood that we really have to present, you know, all the evidence that he had to support the diagnoses of his diabetes and his diagnoses of his obstructive sleep apnea and even some other underlying arthritis problems that he was having. And so we did this full review of the records, presented that from his doctors that he could not return to work due to the heightened risk of basically dying if he was to be struck down with COVID and working in his occupation as a flight attendant. And even found support within his medical records that there were physical limitations of him being able to basically be able to stand, stoop, walk, sit, be able to lift things such as like the emergency doors that weigh greater than 60 pounds, or aid in an emergency situation with a passenger. And they approved the appeal on that basis. So they've been continuing to pay him through this time due to disability from his own occupation as a flight attendant.
And have you reached the change of definition yet from own occupation to any occupation?
Not yet, but that's going to be an important transition. As I said, you know, he's been a flight attendant for, you know, over 2 decades. He was a flight attendant for over 2 decades. And when you're looking at that change in definition, there's the assessment is whether he's disabled from any gainful occupation which he's qualified to perform based on his education, training, and experience. And aside from working as a flight attendant, he really has no other work experience. So it's going to be an important transition where we're going to have to address vocationally, you know, what other occupations are out there that he'd be capable of performing, given his education, training, and experience, and even being able to earn up to 60% of his
Right.
prior occupation.
That's another component, is that they want you to be able to earn 60%. So if he was earning $100,000 a year, he's got to be able to earn at least 60 in whatever other job they think he could do. And it's hard to earn $60,000 a year when you're telling someone, well, I might have a good day, but I'm going to have a lot more bad days, and there's no way I can commit to working for you for 40 hours a week. So that's going to be an issue. The other thing is that a lot of disability companies don't understand the intensive requirements of being a flight attendant. A lot of, they just think, oh, you just serve drinks. Right. But really, that's one of the least important jobs that they have there. They're really there almost like a law and order position to maintain order and safety within the airplane, to make sure all of the guests are comfortable, passengers are comfortable, and especially they're there as a requirement for emergencies, that you have to be able to act. And clearly, if you have physical limitations and cognitive limitations, there's no way you're going to be able to act in an emergency. Right. So that's a big issue. So I guess the future battle is going to come with this claim, because you know that Prudential is going to review the claim again for the change of definition, and I know that you are gearing up for that, to anticipate that, so that this particular claimant can have what we hope will be a smooth transition from the own occupation to the any occupation definition of disability. So congratulations so far, but I think we never just get satisfied that we won the initial battle, which was to get the claimant paid. We're always thinking ahead to say, we want you as our client to be on claim for as long as you think you need these benefits. And that's the goal. So if you're someone who has a Prudential long-term disability insurance policy, feel free to contact Cesar, myself, any of our disability lawyers. We always provide initial free consultation, and we look forward to the opportunity to speak with you right away. Hi, I'm Gregory Dell, the managing attorney of Dell Disability Lawyers, and I hope you find the video you just watched helpful. We put these videos out all of the time, and we'd love if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. Beyond our videos on our YouTube channel, we also have lots of information available on our website at diattorney.com, and we encourage you to come to our website. The goal is that we want you to be educated about the disability insurance process, and when you get to our website, you'll see that we have information all about your specific disability insurance company, your occupation, and your medical condition. And we've designed our website such that you can easily search our website to find things that you may specifically be looking for. Now at our website, we have thousands and thousands of pages of information, hundreds of videos that you can search, plus we're building a section of reviews of all the disability insurance companies, and we have the Ask Our Lawyer section where you can go ahead and ask us any questions that you may have. Now we realize that you may not need us right now, but you may need us in the future to help you with your disability claim, and we think one of the best ways to keep in touch is by clicking the button below and subscribing to our channel. And most importantly, again, no matter where you live in the country, we're always available. Just go ahead and give us a call. We're happy to discuss your claim and let you know immediately if we can help you.